Hello. We have a lot to discuss today. I'm finally back on home soil as well, but we have old style maze events, we have advanced perks, and we have a new family to go through. There is quite a lot of new stuff and quite a lot of, I guess you could say, returning format events that are a bit different to how they were before, but essentially, just to go through it, to start with, we have this in-game that you can see in the news section that tells you about all of the events that are going on at the moment. We just had Tower finish, we've got the maze event today, which we will go through, we will have a puzzle event tomorrow, and then we do have a runner event on the 25th. And this maze event, as you can see, is actually 11 days long, which, if you were playing like, I don't even remember how long ago now, but you may recognize the format of this event. The 11-day long maze events are the long ones, but we do get 2,000 currency per day. And we do get the 700 starting currency, and we have quests as well, so you can see my currency count there. But in this maze event, we have a few different options for what you want to do. So it's not like the recent ones. There are guard insignias on the main keys path. There are tons of potions everywhere, as you can see here. But I have put together a quick guide in the DC event guide section, so you can either take a look at it here, or you can copy paste it, whatever you want to do. But there are two groups of players with these events now, again. So we have Group A cost and we've got Group B cost, and Group B is a hell of a lot more expensive, just so that you're aware. But we'll go through all of this maze stuff in a moment. So first of all, if you go over to your main dragons, like, I don't know, let's pick a random dragon that we've got here, like Sunny, you will actually notice that now you have the option of putting advanced perks on dragons. And so the difference fundamentally here is that, like, a regular health perk, for instance, is 3% per perk, whereas an advanced health perk is 6% per perk, which obviously is going to be quite different, and it's also added a hell of a lot more potential pay to win to this game. Because, I mean, we already had a whole perk system, and now we've got advanced perks, which are exactly the same, but better. So at this stage, it begs the question of whether they're going to release enough of these and then people are going to take off their old perks and then just put advanced perks on there. But I mean, if you pick up an advanced perk, it means that I guess it would be easier to, you know, just add it to your dragon if you get one of them. A 6% is like having two of the others, for instance. So it's pretty self-explanatory in that regard. I'm not a fan of this change at all. I think that it sets a precedent for where things can go. Like, perks were already a thing as they were. We didn't need advanced perks that were exactly the same thing, but just be aware that they do exist, and now you will probably start running into people in the arenas that have them, but we've only got like a couple of them available at the moment. But it does tell you here that we do also have breeding advanced perks, which I actually like those. And as you can see here, it says greatly improves your dragon's odds of breeding higher rarity offspring, unlocks more possible offspring, and that's a 100% increase instead of a 50%. So assuming we can put the same amount on our dragons, that would mean that we can, I guess, unlock empowerment options a bit sooner. But like, you can see that it tells you what percentage increase we can get on dragons now instead. So like combat perks, we can get up to a 90% increase on the basic health perks, but with the boosted health perks, we can now get a 180% increase, which is a very significant difference. So like, we're going from 90% to 180%. So it scares me a little bit. We'll see how this plays out, because obviously it's early days for these new perks. But yeah, I can see this becoming incredibly pay to win, which I am not a fan of at all. But we'll see how it goes for free-to-play players, because obviously there is a difference between the free-to-plays and the pay-to-wins. Now we're getting that with the event structures as well. But you probably got your gift this morning when you logged in. So the other thing that I mentioned was a new family of dragons, and you can actually see this in the office section. So I actually really like the design of this dragon, and I think that because of how the current bugs with Phoenix perk work, this dragon has an interesting, I guess, issue that he brings up yet again, like with a lot of other dragons. But you can see here is Mercury, the strategist, and he is paid only right now. And you can actually get a skin for him if you want to have an upgraded version. So the news infographic goes into this in a little bit more detail. So it says, a new family with their own unique skill, Hypershot. Your critical hits will also deal damage to all other foes. And then you can get the skill skin to just deal more damage. So I guess you could say he's got a cool looking extra skin. I kind of really like his default though, to be honest. But the reason why I say this about the bugs that we've got right now is specifically like Phoenix, Revive bugs that we have going on. It means that AoE damage, so multi-team damage, doesn't get calculated properly and it negates revives. And I don't think this dragon does a lot of damage right now. Alright, so I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't think his damage is crazy at the moment. But if he ends up getting a buff or anything else, or depending on how those damage perks work with him, well, you could have a dragon that is going to be very, very annoying to deal with just because we have the other bugs that exist. If we didn't have, like, the revive bugs going on, I don't see it as a big issue at all. And I don't see him being a great dragon, but, you know, just while that bug exists, it can be annoying to deal with them. Even really low damage dragons in general, so it's an interesting concept. I mainly just like his animations and his design, to be honest, but obviously with them being paid only right now, and this is their only skill on the Mercury dragon anyway, so I don't think he's got too much going on for him, but we'll see if we get any other strategist dragons that end up getting like 2 skills, you know, like what they did with the spike dragons. But just be aware that he exists and you'll probably start running into him, but I don't think he is a scary threat as of right now from what I've seen. But that could change, you know, sometimes we underestimate dragons or overestimate them when they're just released, so we'll see how it goes for him. But those are the main new, like, actual new things. We do, of course, also have that mythical race that's ongoing, which I haven't been able to speak to because I've not been doing it yet, because, again, I haven't been here. So I need to actually be doing some of my race stuff. I'm not sure if we'll get to 15 or not. I mean, it's still doable with this many days, because we've got, like, what, 9 days left? It's definitely still doable to get to lap 15. I mean, you know, it's a dragon, so maybe we'll just get it for the sake of it, but, you know, there's not really much else to say. It's just a regular race. It's well, I say a regular race, but, you know, it's not a regular heroic race. It's just, you know, we do still have heroic orbs chests there as well, which I think is quite funny, and we do have rank up coins in there, but it's not a very exciting race, and I don't see too many people being too excited for it, so, who cares? But like I said, with this maze event, to come back round to the beginning, we have a few paths in this maze island, and it becomes very apparent very early on whether you have the group A or group B, because again, if we look at the total keys path, so when I say keys path, I mean the path here, where if we start on the rare dragons path, then you'd make your way through the path, you pick up the items, then you see that there's a key, and then you go on to the next path. That's what it means by keys path. So if you're ever confused about what people mean if they're referring to the keys path, it's just a way of differentiating which path it is that they're talking about, which you'll start on the rare dragon path and then move up the rarities for the dragons as the other ones get unlocked. But just taking a quick look, again, you can see this either in my Discord server or you can see the values on Ditlep as well. But essentially, if we look at Gatekeeper, because Gatekeeper is the one that's unlocked at the end of the keys path, his total cost just for his path is 10,440, but to even get to his path, you've got to do all the other keys path dragons. So that's Monstrous, Shaolin, Bluefire, Nazca, and you have to make your way through all of those, all the way to Gatekeeper. And so in order to finish off his path, it's actually 10,440 plus 14,530, hence we have the total cost here. So that's the total cost to get all the way through and fully finish off the keys path dragon. But the thing is, you don't necessarily have to finish off the whole path, because you'll see that towards the end there aren't any event items or anything. So actually you might just need to get 6,700 currency into the Gatekeeper path, and then maybe that's all the items that you wanted from it. So it's not quite as expensive as that, and that does mean that you have some wiggle room as well. One other thing that I do want to point out about this is if you were here before, you would have noticed that what we used to do is for runner events, we used to get a runner event path, and then we also used to get a puzzle event path. And we do have a puzzle event path this time, which is the Hermit Crab one for me, and you'll see that we do get puzzle moves, and there is a spellbook, and there is a potion on this path. So I typically really recommend going down the puzzle paths, to be honest, just because it gives you bonus puzzle currency. It lets you do better in the puzzle event. There are items in the puzzle event that you might want, and extra currency as well. So I normally suggest to go down the puzzle path. But one thing they seem to have screwed up, yes, there is another colossal screw up this time, is they have not actually included the runner event, not puzzle pieces, but the flight stamps for the runner event that's going to be coming up. Because the runner event itself, like we've got the puzzle event tomorrow, and then we do have the runner event that is starting in, what is it, 5 days? 5 days, 23 hours, so 6 days time. And with this old event format, these 11-day long mazes, they used to give flight stamps on this path. However, what they've actually done is they've copy and pasted one of these from when we had a race going on at the same time. And I mean, we do have a race going on this time, right? So it kind of makes sense in a way. But it doesn't really make sense, because what would typically happen is the runner event would be cancelled when we had a runner event plus heroic race going on. So what's actually going to happen is we're going to have the mythical race, we're going to have the maze event on, and we're going to have a runner event, but we're not actually going to be given any runner event flight stamps unless they fix this. So they've just forgotten to put the flight stamps back in. So I wish that I could say that this is an event format that, you know, they copy and pasted the old format, so there shouldn't be any problems. But unfortunately, that is not the case, because there is another oversight, which is kind of problematic because, you know, if we were considering the runner event, obviously getting the bonus flight stamps means that you can go further. And normally for runner events, you can usually get to around about the 5,000 and something mark. Around about here, up to 6,000 to the banquet box, maybe something like that. But because we're not going to be getting the bonus flight stamps, it's not looking good. And also with the runner event that's coming up, you'll notice that the first guard insignias are way, way beyond what is actually possible to achieve without gemming quite a lot. So yeah, don't be expecting any insignias out of this event, because they practically don't exist. So there is a lot of disappointment with this maze event, and the other thing that I have noted for all of these paths is how much the path costs, and also what event items you can get from it. And the keys path is going to be the good option as always. I just realized that accidentally for Group B I have mistyped for that, so I'm just going to change that while I'm here, because the items from what I saw are the same for Group A and Group B. So the only difference is actually the costs in them, but the problem with all of this is you have to pick which paths you want to go down. There are a lot of items on the keys path, but keys path is also obviously quite expensive. But if you wanted to, you could do like the puzzle path, you could do the food paths, and you could do a lot of the keys path or one of the legendary paths. But keys path, we have 8 spellbook chests, 21 potions, and 10 guard insignias. But those are the only insignias that exist. So there are no other insignias everywhere else. So I think it looks like they have dramatically reduced the number of guard insignias that we can acquire from this event, which is another problem in itself, because people are, you know, wrapping up their guard collection at this point. Maybe some are going for skill skin, and you can see the 2 lots of insignias are here on the keys path. So if you want the insignias, you've got to go down the keys path, but then you could easily like do the puzzle path as well. You can easily afford that. But you do have the option of going down whatever path you prefer. There is no right or wrong option. Like if you are super desperate for food, go down these food paths that have like lunch boxes and also have banquet boxes guaranteed, which are incredibly nice if you are super desperate for food. But if not, just go for the event items, probably on keys path, and then maybe a couple on like the legendary paths. They typically have like potions quite early on, like 937 total cost, and then for the other legendary that unlocks in 9 days, 200, and you can get a bonus potion. So if you're really pushing for the potion collection, then definitely you want to be going down keys path plus one of the other ones at least. But you know, we'll see how many potions we end up getting from this. I wasn't really able to get much from the tower event, and that because I wasn't around. But yeah, there have been some screw-ups with this event handling again. So it's not great, it's not fabtabulous. I just wish that we could have an event where, you know, they copy and paste it, but they copy and paste it properly. Obviously, they've copy and pasted the wrong event format again, unless they really didn't want us to get the bonus runner event currency, but I don't see why. It's not really a major difference, but hey. That's just to let you know, so if you saw those events like a year ago, this should be quite familiar to you. A lot of people used to like the 11-day long mazes. I quite like them, but they are a long slog, obviously. But you're going to have this event on. You're going to have a puzzle event on tomorrow, like I said. So for puzzle event, make sure that you are prepared. And I say that, but it looks like we've got puzzle event, but with those really weird quests for the 4th set of quests. So we've got the breeding, which is normal for section 3, but then section 4 is very weird still. So we've got 6 arena battles and like hatch pure and dark dragons. So you could do that in advance, like start it today, but pure and dark, for instance, that's a horrific combination. All these pure combinations, they know that they take a long time, so they're banking on people gemming them. It's not great. Arena battles, like this never used to be a thing in puzzle events. I really don't like this change whatsoever. I didn't like it before because a lot of people just used to ignore the 4th one. But I do not like this like pure and dark hatching. And then that means that you don't get the points for the breeding, you only get the points for the hatching. I don't know, I think they need to undo this one. Like it was not well thought out at all. Like, whoever put those changes in for the puzzle event, I don't have a lot of positives to say at all. But anyway, expect that, and you can do your pre-breeds or whatever in advance for tomorrow since you've got 24 hours to prepare, so there's that. I guess the other thing to talk about is Wizard's Hollow with Incinerate, which we've already had for a little bit, but I do just want to mention that this is the chest that has the incredibly good rewards in it, because it's not just food and legendary jokers, it's also a guaranteed ascended. So if you want, well, ascended or redemption, so if you really want a guaranteed dragon, you could end up gemming and maybe getting your hands on the blue chests here. I guess the problem is that it is RNG as to whether you get the chests in the first place. So, I mean, when we're talking about 11 golden runes, getting 11 golden runes randomly through your run is absolutely not guaranteed at all. I mean, nothing in Wizard's Hollow is guaranteed. Obviously, if you really want to go for a set dragon, you could say, okay, I'm willing to gem enough to get a guaranteed dragon for this amount, and plus, maybe if you get lucky, you can go all the way to the end. But like, you'll see that after 5 rooms, we have 1 golden rune, and you're not guaranteed a golden room through your entire run. So you may just get nothing out of this. You may even get to the end and not get your hands on one of these chests, which obviously would be disappointing, but it is very common for that to happen. But with Wizard's Hollow, as always, you can try your luck, see what you get, and plus, I do like the fact that we have Eternals coming and all of those special dragons now in Wizard's Hollow, because for a while it was like the same set of legendary VIPs, Karmas. I mean, the Karma ones were quite exciting, right? And some of the other dragons, but now we've got like the Spore Dragons, we've got the Eternals. So there's a lot of chances for you to waste a lot of gems. And that is why you've got to be smart about how you decide to spend them. A +3 there is really, really positive. But again, it's how many gems are you willing to spend to get a guaranteed Ascended or Redemption Dragon and possibly the dragon at the end. Which, if you think about it, that could be 2 guaranteed legendary VIPs. So it's not just 1 dragon that you'd be considering, it would be 2 of them. So things get a little bit spicy at that point because you're basically gemming for 2 VIPs at that point. So yeah, I guess all I can say is best of luck with your Wizard's Hollow. You know, sometimes you'll get really lucky, other times you will get absolutely poopy luck. But I'd say a couple of 100 gems for, you know, a guaranteed Eternal and a guaranteed Ascended Redemption, possibly, if you do get enough golden runes at that point. That could definitely be worth it. And, you know, you might pick up some perks on your way through. Although, do we really want to be putting regular perks on our dragons now, or do we want to be saving up for those new advanced perks? And so you'll see that we are on our second wizard at room 27 here. So this has actually been a really, really nice run. But things can change rather drastically, because even though we've gotten to this point, are we going to run to a wizard now? No? Okay, that was a bit lucky, but genuinely you can go the first 25 rooms. Oh my god, 2 damage perks? But you can go the first 25, 30 rooms and only run into 1 wizard. And then you may run into a wizard every single 4 rooms from that point. Not 4 rooms, even 3 rooms from that point onwards. So You have to be careful about when you're gemming. You've got to think about it properly. And obviously the rewards go up the further into a Wizard's Hollow run that you go. So you might get lots of legendary orbs, you might get lots of gems on your way up. But always expect that you're probably going to run into a wizard on the final room or the second last room, because that's just the way that it is. So is this going to be a successful run with no blue chest and like no gems? Pretty much, possibly. I mean, we're getting very close. Another 20 gems is a lot to spend, but we could get an Eternal out of it. I know that you're probably going to want me to keep going, so shall we see if we get absolutely pooped on luck-wise towards the end of this? I mean, I've got a few gems. I'd rather not waste too many, ideally, but, you know, we've got some rewards here. We're on room 40. Oh, wow, they're really throwing the damage perks at us, but look at this. 8 gems, basically nothing else apart from maybe some food. We've run into, like, no gems on our way through here. So this is Wizard's Hollow in a nutshell. Even if you actually get lucky in terms of not running into wizards, your actual overall rewards might be pretty bad. So always expect it. I'm expecting us to run into a wizards in the next few rooms, 100%. Like one in this next 5. Oh my god, 48 gems. That would have been absolutely delicious. But I guess we are just going to get a free run without any of our special guaranteed ascendeds or redemptions. Wizards, yeah, there we go. Always expect at least one more of them. 40's okay. I'll spend another 40 for this. We're guaranteed to win at this point. Any gems to give us at the end? Ooh, you know what? Broke essence. That is fine by me. But, yeah, I would say that the rewards this time around were pretty disappointing in terms of the extra rewards. We did get some legendary orbs. We got 5 damage perks, again a bit of food, but yeah, the overall rewards for the bonus stuff was pretty bad. But you know, when you get lucky in terms of not running into many wizards and we get a guaranteed Eternal at the end, well, I think that that was definitely a run that was worth it to, you know, go for that little extra chance, hence why I did it. But that was a very, very lucky run, and again, that might happen to you. Might not. We got bonus damage perks to use on any existing dragons that we're not going to swap them out for. We didn't get a random legendary here. Let's try another one. No, more food. I mean, the food's fine. Another one. Food. We got so many ×3s on the blue runes, but like none on the gold. And like I said, that is quite normal. So if it happens to you, also happened to me, you're not alone. So yeah, sometimes you get insane luck mixed with really bad luck at the same time, but I would say getting a free Incinerate Eternal is pretty good. But that being said, Incinerate Eternal is actually a duplicate for me, so is it really worth spending that many gems? I think it was just for the spice. But yeah, he's gonna sit there. I guess I'll hatch him at some point, rank him up, and then we can trade the orbs out for him. So nice little bit of trading fodder. So anyway, that was a nice little end to this video, I suppose. But like I said, there's the new events / old event structure back, new family. We've got this that I need to actually do the food collecting for. Again, I don't know what place we're gonna come in this this race, because if I've already missed the beginning of it, it kind of destroys my will to continue. But there's currently a guy on lap 9, which is actually a little bit behind where I would have expected them to be by this point. I guess it's kind of okay, like okay pacing wise, but definitely one where we, if we were available in the first few days, could have been, you know, way beyond here. But anyway, for now, that is everything that I wanted to say about the new event structure and whatever. But, you know, if there's anything else that you need, let me know in the comments, and anything else that doesn't make sense, hopefully the news section can help you out. I haven't even hatched my Venom Fang. I do have the orbs, but I couldn't do heroic combat this time, again, for the same reason, while I was inactive. But at least we can get the dragon, we can get him empowered, or use the bonus orbs that we got from the race, because we did get to lap 18. We can use them as trading fodder maybe as well. So we got a lot of possibilities. And I guess we'll finish it off with hatching Mr. Forgy over here. Do I even have a habitat for him? Oh, I do. Oh, Forge has been a pain in my neck for a long time, because he's one of the old dragons. You can see him slapping his cube over there. But the reason why I wanted him, of course, is for this collection right here. So we finish off the Voyager collection, we get some gems, we get the Meridian Dragon. Why not? So I am working on my collections again. You can see mine was going up a little bit faster than it was. So I kind of do want to start finishing off as much of this codex as I can at this point, rather than focusing on like our profile of stuff, because like I don't really need to worry about my profile anymore. We have a lot of options. We've got a lot of options coming up because we've got Amber at E5 as well. Harpy at E5 is incredibly nice. So I am less concerned about this. Grotto is actually empowering as I speak. So we've got him at E5. We will also have Cinco at E5. We're going to have Cosmic Detonation at E5 very shortly. Birthday's getting there. So like at my point in the game, it's like I can just keep stacking E5s over time. Like screw that. I need to start actually finishing off the collection again. So maybe we'll see a lot more of that. And why does that look so different? So strange. But anyway, I'm going to leave you there for now. So yeah, if you do want any further information, like I said, you can either check Ditlep, there is a bit on Deatlist as well, or you can also check the Discord server in the DC event guide section just for a quick overview of how many items in that. But I'm not a fan of Group A and Group B stuff. I think Group B is probably the pay-to-win section, so they normally split between free-to-play and pay-to-wins. But then what is the point of pay-to-wins spending money if they're going to have to spend more currency in all of their events to get the same thing as the free-to-plays? It's getting really weird, like how they're treating the pay-to-win players, which in a way is good for the free-to-plays, but at the same time it just... I don't see that anyone's actually winning in this situation, but hey, they can do as they like. For now, I'm gonna go chill and keep doing this mythical race stuff, I guess. But for now, keep stacking up your daily currency and probably go down the keys path for most players, but spend as you like. You don't have to go down a set path anymore. Depends on the items that you're going for. I'll probably go for the potions and spellbooks, but we'll see. But any hooskies, for now, best of luck and ciao.